One of the things I first decided to look at was in my various roles in the community or in the society as an instructor in the University of Calgary, at Athabasca University, as a business owner, as a mom, and all these different responsibilities. You know, I had people who came to me and kept on asking the same questions. You know, hey, Dr. Chika, I'm not sure what to do with my life. I don't know what to do with my career. I'm not sure whether I have an entrepreneurial spirit. I feel like I should be a business owner. I don't know how to make these choices, you know, and I also don't know how to find a balance, you know. I have all these things going on, but it looks like I need to forego one thing for the other. Everything keeps, you know, kind of suffering. You know, so it really became apparent that there was a need for us to have something like this where women could hear from other women who have succeeded in all these different facets, you know, and share their experiential journeys on how they've made, you know, these huge, I want to say, milestones in their own careers. So thankfully today we have 3 exceptional women who will be discussing with us, teaching us as well, because we're also here to learn, right? So we're going to have 3 exceptional women today who will be teaching us. We have Chioma Ufodikemay, we have also Kathy Yuen, and we have Eno Eka. Before they come to teach, we're going to show a quick video kind of letting us know why they're here. You know, so they have very robust backgrounds in their different sectors. So it's critical to know why they are here today and why we've given them this opportunity to teach us. It's because they have a lot to share. You know, across 3 women who have decades of professional experience, you know, there's also a wealth of knowledge behind people like this. So we really want to hear about those decisions and how they've arrived where they are. In a few minutes, we'll have Catherine, one of the members of our organizing committee, come and talk about a very critical part of WTAL, which is our funding. For the last 3 years, we've run on personal funds. We've never had anyone or made a request for donations, but we've only just begun that because we realized that the responsibility is very huge and it does require a huge expense. So Kathy will talk about how we've made this easy for anyone who is interested in doing that, but we need to emphasize that we want you to donate only if at the end of this seminar you feel like you're taking away something. So you're not compelled to give, but you're giving on the platform of the fact that you've learned new knowledge today and you're taking away something that you didn't have when you stepped into this place. So that is a sign to us that we're also delivering on what we promise, that every day we're building more well-rounded women who are able to really go into the society, compete equally on all platforms, and thrive. So that's a very simple request. On that note, I will invite Catherine to come and speak a little bit. After that, I'll be back here for a few minutes to start the introduction for Chioma, who is our first speaker tonight. Thank you for listening.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We want to especially welcome you to this annual edition of Woman Thou Art Loose. Woman Thou Art Loose is a non-profit organization and is targeted to the all-round development of the women. Its aim is to raise giant women who are fully equipped for the fast-growing society. It was created in 2020, and since 2020, they have been holding monthly seminars, and it usually holds on the last Saturday of every month. At Woman Thou Art Loose, every month, women are being coached. They are provided with a platform where they can get information both spiritually, business-wise, entrepreneurship in their various careers. So every month, women are provided with this various information. And since 2020, it has gained so much popularity. And this is evident by our in-person attendance and online views. And since its creation, it has been an awesome experience. And women can actually testify that they have learned so much through this women platform. And every last Saturday of the month, women are being shaped and they are provided with the information to make sure they are aware and seeking the information they need. Because there is so much out there, but you need the information and you need the right people that can guide you through. At Women That Are Loose, women are being shaped both spiritually. Like our convener said, since 2020, its purpose was spiritual development. And her as a pastor and a mother, so many women come up to her. They are facing challenges in their businesses, in their careers. So she thought it was that get people, women who are experienced in business, in their careers to come coach the women. So every month, women are provided. Since its creation, it has 3 main goals. Women That Are Loose, since its creation, it has 3 main goals. The first goal is that women are aware of their environment and they are seeking the information. And the second goal is that the women are maximizing the potentials available to them. And the third one is we have women who through their experiences, they come, they coach other women, maintaining a network where experienced people come in, donate their time voluntarily to help train other people. So these are the threefold aims of Women That Are Loose. Dr. Chika, who is the convener of Women That Are Loose, has set a very clear vision for Women That Are Loose. And the vision is to get strategies to make sure these women are fully equipped. Every woman in the society, it just needs 1 or 2 people to coach you and you will be prepared for the fast-growing community which we have there. Women That Are Loose, the chief among its elements is to execute its vision. And executing this vision of having women gain their skills, having women develop their businesses, having women gain popularity, sensitize and get themselves. It is not a one-man business. It is not a one-person something. So she thought it wise, as we have our guests tonight, that these guests, they come up together, they teach, they coach, they provide the necessary information that we need. And this has been through voluntary donations. Since its creation, it has been donations from our goodwill ambassadors, our participants, which we appreciate you so much for all you have put. People have put in the convener, the organizing committee, our participants, our good ambassadors have donated so much, both financially, their time, their knowledge, and we appreciate you so much for all you have done. At this point in our seminar, we want to solicit for your voluntary donations. Like our convener, Dr. Chika earlier said, has been running through the funding from voluntary participants. And we want to solicit at this point of our seminar that you can donate to this cause. And if you're here, you are wondering, why should I donate to this cause? Why should I give my money? You get seated, and I believe at the end of this session, you might want to consider your decision, because there is so much in store tonight. So we have various means, various platforms where you can donate to this cause. We have our email transfer, info@wta.ca. You can donate cash. You can donate a check, WTA, Canada. You can donate cash. You can also donate your time. You can donate everything. We welcome you, we receive it. We want to appreciate you. Like our convener said, it's voluntary. You are not obligated to give. This is voluntary donations. If you have felt, if you are being touched, if you have seen the cause, you have heard her speak to us, and you see, oh, I want to support this cause. I want to support this movement. Feel free. We have our media subsequently. They will project to us our various donation platforms, and feel free to donate to us. And if you're here, you're ready to donate to this cause, while our convener, Dr. Chika, comes off, please, I will give you some few minutes. Like we received some information from the table. Inside, we have a bookmark. At the back of it, you have the donations platforms. So you can quickly donate through those various platforms to us. We appreciate you so much for your time, for your donations. And we say thank you. As you do donate, we'll invite the convener, Dr. Chika, as he welcomes our guests tonight. Thank you so much.
Let's just prepare the welcome video for Chioma. So I was even just speaking to them in the office just a few minutes ago, and I was telling Kathy how we met. So Chioma is a fantastic woman by herself, but I met her through her husband, who I went to seek for other reasons, secret reasons. But I've heard about her. I mean, it's hard not to hear about a woman who has done very well in the society. And just as I was thinking about who to invite, I was looking on LinkedIn and I saw that she had just been invited somewhere else. I didn't even mention that to you, but I think you went to speak at CBC, I believe. And so when I saw that, it just kind of confirmed to me that I was thinking in the right direction, and so one of the things we try to do here, and I will just just beat the dead horse, is to really just go into our society and find every kind of woman. So we're not particular about what they look like. So any woman who has succeeded in anywhere that they are positioned is a good enough example for us. So we're not picking and choosing based on skin color or nationality or anything. In fact, in the coming months, we'll have a very robust, diverse group of speakers who will be coming up to speak to us in June. We've already convened the speakers for June and for July as well, who will be from completely different professional sectors as well. We have someone who is in politics, someone who is in health and wellness, who are completely diverse from myself as well. So Chioma has a very strong professional background, and just seeing what she has achieved in her several years of working in the country and in this city is phenomenal. And to own a business, to be in employment, to have a family, to successfully balance all this thing over decades is commendable by anybody. So we really want to know how she has been able to handle all that and also rise in the different levels of her employment as well. So can we play the introductory video, and then after which we'll have Chioma come speak to us.
DK is a fellow of the Chartered Professional Accountants and leader in finance, regulatory compliance, risk management, governance, and forensic accounting, with over 23 years of experience spanning across various industries. Chioma is currently the Chief Compliance Officer for Olympia Trust Company and oversees regulatory compliance and policy management across all lines of business. She holds a Bachelor of Arts degree in criminology and a master's in forensic accounting. She is also a certified fraud examiner, a certified anti-money laundering specialist, and is a graduate of the Directors Education Program from the Institute of Corporate Directors at the Rotman School of Management, University of Toronto. Chioma has served on the board of non-profit organizations and crown corporations. She currently chairs the Finance and Audit Committee of the Agricultural Financial Services Corporation. She is currently serving as a director for the Alberta Teachers Retirement Trust Board, the CPA Education Foundation Board, and a nominating committee member for CPA Alberta Achievement Awards. She previously served as the treasurer and chair Finance and Audit Committee for the Lafayette House Conservation Society, a Canadian not-for-profit organization. When networking, Chioma is a fitness enthusiast who enjoys traveling, spending time with her 4 beautiful kids, and giving back to the community.
Let's welcome Chioma to speak to us this evening.
Thank you so much, Dr. Chika, for that wonderful introduction. Good evening, everyone. My name is Chioma Ufodikemay, and I'm so happy to be here and really blessed to be here. And I also just wanted to say thank you to Dr. Chika for affording me the opportunity to speak to you very beautiful people today, and just the opportunity to give back to the cause, give back to society, and just kind of share my experience with you. So I'm hoping that by the end of my session, end of my talk, if you go home with 1 or 2 nuggets or tidbits, I think my work here has been done. So just a little bit about me. What I'm going to be talking to you today about is I'll be talking about career growth. If you're feeling stuck in your career, how to traject your career to the next level, how to grow your career. And I'll be giving you tips and tricks that has worked for me based on my experience, right? So the lens that I'm going to be delivering this speaking engagement is what I've gone through. So just a little bit about me. I'm going to take you back because I've been in this country for 27 years, but I've had about 23 years in corporate Canada, working and growing my career. So I'll take you back to my story. So this will be like storytelling, and I'll be giving you tips and tricks as to how I was able to grow my career. So right now, what do I currently do? I'm the Chief Compliance Officer for Olympia Trust Company. It's a financial services non-deposit taking financial institution. And then, so it's a C-suite position and an executive position. I also own my own business, Ufodikemay Professional Corporation, UPC, where we provide anything from personal to corporate taxes, audit, forensic accounting, investigations, and consulting. And then my third stream is I do sit on boards. So just like I was introduced, I sit on 4 boards, not-for-profit and Crown Corporation, and I chair their Audit, Finance, and Risk Committee. I wanted to make sure that I say that because every single stream or every single one of those lines of business, I call it for myself, has given me some kind of experience and helped me traject my career to the next level. And I'll explain why and how. So let me take you back on a journey. I immigrated, so I'm from Nigeria. I immigrated when I was 16 to Vancouver with my family. When I came, I think at that time I was too young to get into university, and I got into college. So while I was in college, I was working at a clothing store. At that time, there was an RBC branch right beside the store I was working, and I would see people just dress up and go into the branch and they work. And I always had this yearning for corporate Canada. I just wanted to do that. And I said to my manager at that time, I really want to be a bank teller. And she looked at me and said, why would you want to do that? That's one of the lowest paying profession at that time. Bank tellers were getting paid $7.70. If you worked for tellers at that time in Vancouver, it was one of the highest paid position for students, at $13. And then clothing was about maybe $11, $12. So she looked at me and was like, why would you want to leave what you have now and do that? So this is lesson number 1, because that singular decision that I made was the genesis of my career in banking, right? But I didn't listen to her. I did up my resume. At that time, they didn't have any online portal for you to submit. I worked downtown to the office, submitted my resume, and then I got called, went to the interview and got offered the job as a bank teller. That was the highlight of my time at that time. But my happiness was short-lived. I was working as a bank teller, really enjoyed it, but I got robbed twice at gunpoint. So I was the token teller that the bank robber came. So that experience, not just once, but twice. So that experience was quite traumatic. And because of that, I said to myself, I would never do frontline again. So around the same time, I graduated from college and I was looking for a university. I kind of hated Vancouver. It wasn't really cool at that time. But I had heard about this city called Toronto that was hustling and bustling with a lot of people. So I said to myself, I applied to the University of Toronto, and I got in. And I went to my parents and I said, I was 19 at that time. I told them I want to move to Toronto. And they said, but you don't have a job. How are you going to support yourself? So then I started looking for a job. But I knew that I didn't want to do frontline. I went through the roster and I found this position called a fraud analyst. Had no experience, didn't even know what that meant, but I applied for it. So lesson number 2. There's statistics out there that show that women, as women, we don't apply for things until we feel that we're 100% qualified. But men, they are more confident, even if they're 20, 30, 40% qualified or meet the requirements, they will go ahead and apply for it. So my advice for you today is if you see something that you think you are interested in that is part of your career path, whether you have the direct experience or not, as long as you have transferable skill set, go ahead and do it, because what's the worst that could happen? They tell you no, and then you move on, right? But back to the story. So I applied to the role as a fraud analyst, didn't think I was going to get it, got an interview, and I guess myself and the hiring manager, we just hit it off. She liked me, I liked her, I got hired. But like I said, that was the genesis of my career, really in banking and in fraud and forensics. So I started working at RBC, at the National Fraud Detection Group, which is very interesting, investigating different types of debit and credit card fraud. So at the time, there was a lot of fraud with credit card because the magnetic strip at that time, we didn't have the technology, the chip technology that we have today that is, really good. At that time, the point of compromise was just everywhere, right? So lots of investigation. So I really loved it. So did that for 2 years, and then I got promoted to become the assistant manager, investigating different types of internal Royal Bank defalcation, so when internal staff steal, right? And then 9/11 happened. They introduced this thing called the Bill C-25, which is the Anti-Money Laundering and Terrorist Financing Act, and they tapped me to lead that department. Didn't know anything about it, but transferable skills, right? That's what I keep saying. Transferable skills, investigation, you're looking at, you're following the money, whether it's for fraud or for money laundering purposes, you're doing that. So I was in the bank for a total of 6 years. And I looked at my resume and I said, this is good, but I think I need more. So lesson number 3, get uncomfortable with being comfortable. I know that a lot of times you're in your role, you can even do it while you're sleeping, it's not challenging anymore, but it's just easy because you're getting easy money. But that is a slippery slope, and it's a very challenging place to be. It's very risky because you're there, you're comfortable, you're not being challenged, but the money is good, you're not growing, but hey, what it is. And if you keep doing that, you find yourself being stuck because you'll not be motivated to do more, right? You would never grow your career or trajectory to the next level if you're very comfortable. Once you're very comfortable and you stop learning, kick yourself in the behind, it's time to move on, right? So, like I said, I was at the bank for 6 years, and around that time, there was this new field called forensics, forensic accounting. Nobody knew what it was. I was curious, and I thought to myself, I think I'm going to pursue this. And at that time, the only firms that were offering this type of positions were consulting companies, right? And of course, again, I applied and I got in. But I left a leadership managerial role to take an analyst role. So sometimes, so this is lesson number 4, it's okay to go back, reset, to go forward, right? And I always say career growth is not always vertical. It could be horizontal, where you're stepping aside and you're garnering and gaining all the breadth of experience. And that experience is transferable to help traject you to the next level. So I took a lower role as a fraud analyst for a consulting company. Really loved it, and that was one of the best experience I could have gotten because it wasn't myopic, it wasn't narrow. I could do investigations for different types of company across a spectrum, right? So when I'm speaking to a client, I can draw my experience from this company, completely different. So that was great, meeting different clients, and I was growing in my breadth of experience. And not only that, in the consulting firms, there's different arms, right? So not only can you talk about doing forensics, you could go shadow tax, you could do other types of consulting, mergers and acquisitions, so you're learning, right? So that was good. So I did that for 2 years, but I had to leave because of course, with consulting world, work, family, life balance. I was getting married at that time. I wanted to start a family. I used to go to work at like 6 in the morning, but wouldn't leave till like 1 a.m., so it was taking a toll. So I said to myself, okay, I need something more stable. And then I started working for OSFI, which is a regulatory body that supervises financial institutions and life insurance company. Again, still growing my career. And then myself and my husband decided to move to Alberta, Calgary, because we wanted to own and operate our own accounting practice. So that's how we started off with Ufodikemay Professional Corporation. So we did that full-time for a while. And then we decided to go back in industry, because I always say you can never be in Alberta and not work for oil and gas, right? So decided to go back into industry, working for Enbridge, leading their forensics, compliance team. And then fast forward to today, so let me not take you through my career in a nutshell. Fast forward to today, I'm now the Chief Compliance Officer for Olympia Trust Company, and I oversee regulatory compliance, policy management, privacy for the entire organization. So that's my work history in a nutshell. So in all, I had worked for 6 companies, and in these 6 companies, I was able to grow, learn, garner experience, right? But the top 5 tips that I would leave with you today on how to grow your career. The first one is, leaning in. I think that as women, we've been shown to really underestimate our abilities. We tend to shy away from all those assertive or leadership roles that propel us to shine, right? We'd rather be followers than leaders. So what I'm here to tell you today is that, at work you may be asked, there may be a new project that is going on that you have no knowledge about, like nothing, you know nothing about that project. I want you to put up your hand to lead it. It will be very scary, but leading it will give you a chance to showcase your abilities, to learn about leadership skills, to learn new skills that you haven't learned before. Then you're being a leader and people are seeing you in that light that they haven't seen you before. So that tomorrow when there's something else, they remember you and they can call you to say, hey, you led that project, it was very successful, let's tap her to do that again. And on your resume, you've garnered leadership skills even though you're not in a managerial position. So this is what I mean by transferable skills, and you're able to speak confidently about those type of skills, right? So leaning in is one, so just, showing and in opportunities that showcase leadership skills and opportunities for you to shine. The other one is learning up, right? Knowledge is power, we all know that, and we've heard that time and time again. And it's by continuously learning that you amplify your power. So for me, I always say, I have a lot of letters after my name, and it's not by accident. For every role that I've had to garner the requisite education to help burnish my skill set. So when I walk into the room or somebody's reading my bio, they think, wow, she knows what she's talking about. Whether I do, whether I don't, doesn't matter, but you think so, right? So it's always perception that counts, and that's very important, right? Never underestimate your ability to continue learning, because when you stop learning, as the saying it goes, you die, really, right? So knowledge is power. So always focus on your professional development, and it doesn't matter what it is, so just keep learning. The next one is really have a plan. Know where you want to be, I would say in 5 years from now. Even if you don't know, just have a plan. Make a plan of things that make you happy. I always say, that make you happy. I remember when I first came to this country, I used to go on, I think at that time it was Workopolis, and I would just search up, you know, like top paying jobs. And I would see like CEOs, CFOs, CCOs. And I would say to myself, at that time I was 16, that's what I want to do. How will I get there? I don't know, but I just used to see that, and I thought, I know I want to make money. I know I want to be an executive one day, and just have a plan, right? It could be a 2-year plan, a 3-year plan, a 5-year plan, but you just need to have a plan of where you want to be, doing things that make you happy. And like I talked about, you know, career growth is not always vertical, right? It could be horizontal, where you are, you know, stepping aside to garner experience that will grow your breadth and depth of experience that are transferable to helping you traject yourself to the next level. I also talked about getting uncomfortable with being comfortable. Don't ever forget that. And then my last tip is be very self-aware and build your own personal brand. I think this is the one time where I would tell you that you should worry about what people say about you in the corporate environment. Because I've been on executive tables where you have a leader speak negatively about one of their staff. I don't know the staff, but guess what? That's my impression. It's now left an impression on me about that individual, right? So I always say in the workplace, you want to have a work buddy or a coach or a mentor or somebody who can tell you objectively what they think about you, how you did in your presentation, or how you're doing at work, period. Somebody that you trust, right? Like I said, this is the one time I'll probably tell you you should worry about, you know, what other people have to say about you, because it's about your own personal brand. It's always very important to know your blind spots and work on them every day, right? Because everybody else can likely see your blind spots except you, right? You really don't know what you're not good at, but you think you're good at that. So that's why it's always good to have like a corporate mentor to say, hey, I think I did well in that presentation, but how did I really do? Did I really hit the nail on the head, or was I just off the mark, right? So that's really my tips for you for career advancement and how to grow your career. But at the end of the day, be yourself. Don't settle for less. Always keep growing. Always keep yearning, and always keep wanting more. Don't settle. Don't settle, don't settle, and get uncomfortable with being comfortable. Thank you.
So we'll take a quick 10-15-minute break, and then we'll come back for lesson 2. But I want to ask that in the meantime, can you prepare your questions? Just so that when we're done, we're going to have a quick chat with all the speakers and then kind of ask questions at that time. All right, thank you. See you soon.
Design, an award-winning architectural and interior design firm specializing in residential design across Canada.